You see, the FA Community Shield is contested between the winners of the Premier League and the winner of the FA Cup. And right now, Arsenal are the winners of the Premier League and Manchester City are the winners of the FA Cup. So they came together to play a Community Shield. This Community Shield is like the curtain raiser, played 1 week before the season officially starts. And the money generated from the playing of this Community Shield will be distributed to different communities which host the English Premier League. So Arsenal took on Manchester City in this Community Shield at Wembley. And when the game started, I was watching to see the kind of tactics Enzo Maresca of Manchester City is going to deploy because with this mindset that if you hear Manchester City, you are having this mindset of Pep Guardiola, the kind of tiki taka that he used to play with Manchester City. But now this is a new era. 10 years have gone and Pep Guardiola have left. And this is a new era of Enzo Maresca. So we are not going to expect Manchester City to dominate most of the ball that we used to see them as. Because yes, they have the good players, no doubt. They're going to play, they're going to still score goals, but they might not dominate possession the way they used to. And I was watching to see how they approach the game. And of course, they were playing as if they were not serious. They were playing as if it was just a normal preseason friendly. And Arsenal took that game with utmost seriousness. In fact, in the first minute, Calafiori opened the scoring. Look at the way he drove into the post and finished. And I was saying, oh, let's since California have scored, let's see how Manchester City respond. They were just putting one or two passes together. The only person that was driving, making impact was Jeremy Doku. Jeremy Doku was the only person that was driving, trying to make impact, putting in the passes, but the attackers were not serious. Haaland was just he had an off day in that game. And in the 28th minute, Kai Havertz capitalized and headed in to make it 2-0. That was where I knew that look, I think Arsenal have run away with this because on a normal day in Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, if they go 2 goals down, you still have hope that look somehow they might come back, but not under Enzo Maresca, who we have not known the tactics is going to deploy yet. Yes, in terms of the two teams, Arsenal are a more balanced team because I think their manager has been there for 8 9 years now. So they understand the task, they understand the tactics. The Manchester City on their own part are yet to understand fully the tactics of Enzo Maresca. So I don't blame them like losing. But where I'm going to blame them is that they played as if they were not serious. They played as if it just a preseason that they are playing. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not as if Pep Guardiola always wins Community Shield. No. Pep Guardiola, in fact, he has lost more Community Shield than he has won. But later he goes ahead to win the league. But you see, the way they play, the way the Pep Guardiola team play with utmost seriousness, even if they lose, you are looking at the team and say, oh, this team is going to challenge, they're going to still win trophies. But you cannot say such for this Enzo Maresca's team that of course, most in fact, 90% of the players were bought by Pep, yes. But they couldn't blend fully into the tactics he wants them to play before he left. So Enzo Maresca is going to be the one to blend them into his own tactics. And it's very important when a trophy is at stake because that is where you see seriousness. But unlike Manchester City that we used to know, this team was not really serious. Yes, I'm going to bet Erling Haaland will score goals, no doubt. But I cannot bet that Manchester City are going to win more games as they used to under Pep. From what I watched, you look at it in the second half. The second half was just starting. I was thinking, oh, since Enzo Maresca might have done his team talks, that the players are going to come up pushing to see if they can get something or get back into the game. 48 minutes, Matt Odegaard scored. Look at the way he scored. Sef. The keeper was already out of the way. No defender were there. In fact, they had like two or three Arsenal players with him there and he scored to make it 3-0. See, you see this game ended 3-0, I think it's maybe out of respect because Arsenal, when they after going 3-0 up, they didn't really put in much effort to score more goals again. Because on a normal day, this game would have ended like at least 5-0. Because Manchester City played absolute nonsense in that game, and it leads me to be concerned that look, we're not going to expect that Manchester City are going to still be challenging for titles. Yes, you can prove me wrong when the season starts, but what I saw in that game, I can't bet that Manchester City are going to challenge for titles. The Champions League is off it. The Premier League, yes, they can be a force, but I don't think if Manchester City wins the Premier League, it means that all the challengers are not really serious at all. Seriously, from what I just watched, and from what I saw with Arsenal, it shows that look, the preseason was just a camouflage because they didn't really do well in preseason. They lost more games than they won or drew. But this game, you saw the way they approached it. The Mask Luis Kelly, the all of them that played that game, all of them were on form. Califuori, all of them were on form. The way they approached it, like something was at stake, unlike Manchester City. So kudos to Mikel Arteta for what he has done with this team. You see, this is one thing with staying with a club for a long time. The board giving you that hand to pick the players you are going to sign, to manage the team, and build the confidence of the players. It has paid off. And Arsenal are a force to be reckoned with. If Arsenal does not retain the Premier League title, that means there is a team with more hunger and consistency than them. And if I'm looking at that team, I'm not looking at it from Manchester City. I'm looking at it from maybe Liverpool, Manchester United, or Chelsea. A team with more hunger and consistency. Listen, consistency. You, not you win today, tomorrow you draw or you lose. No, a team that can win 4, 5 straight games in a row before dropping point and then winning it again. So I would say shame on Manchester City for that performance. Yes, I expected Arsenal to get the edge over them to win, but I didn't expect Arsenal to trash them 3-0. So I think Enzo Maresca have a lot of work to do if he doesn't want to be sacked seriously, because if the season starts and he cannot put together consistent wins, Manchester City may have had patience with Pep Guardiola because of the kind of pedigree and reputation he has and what he has done for them. But I cannot bet that they are going to still have the same patience with Enzo Maresca. So Enzo Maresca need to hit the ground running. Manchester City are not building a team. They already have a team. Yes, they may not have won the league title last season, but at least they won the FA Cup and they won the Carling Cup. So they are still a force to be reckoned with in winning trophies. So Enzo Maresca must hit the ground running immediately, or else he risks being sacked. He has the best players in the business. When you have the Antoine Semenyo, when you have the Erling Haaland, when you have the Jeremy Doku in your team, you have the midfield, you have Rodri there. Although even Rodri is maybe leaving, but even without Rodri, they still have quality in that midfield. When you have the defense is good enough. The goalkeeper, Donnarumma, is one of the best goalkeepers in the business. You don't have any excuse. And Manchester City might likely sign Boadi in the next few days. So there will be no excuse for Enzo Maresca not to perform. I think he has to get his ass together and hit the ground running immediately from the first whistle of the Premier League season. So the Community Shield is done and dusted. Congratulations to Arsenal for winning their, I think this is their third Community Shield. And I think Arteta have become a master now in winning Community Shields. So congratulations to them for winning this Community Shield.